You know that feeling, right? You study for hours. You feel like you've absolutely nailed it. And then a week later, your mind is just blank. It's so frustrating. We all feel this guilt, like our brain just isn't working right. But what if I told you that feeling, that act of forgetting, isn't a bug? What if it's actually the secret to making learning stick for good?
All right, let's just jump right in with a number that's going to sound kind of crazy. Get this. Every single time you forget something and then have to work to relearn it, that memory can become up to 300% stronger. 300. This isn't some motivational poster quote. This is one of the most solid findings in the science of learning.
So this forces us to totally rethink how we see our own minds. We've been taught our whole lives that forgetting is a failure, a bug in the system. But the science is telling us the exact opposite. Forgetting is a feature. It's a critical, necessary part of the process. It's literally the setup for building permanent knowledge.
Okay, so how on earth does that even work? How can forgetting make you smarter? Well, the answer comes from this really groundbreaking idea by psychologist Robert Bjork. It's called the new theory of disuse. And trust me, it changes everything about how we understand memory.
Here's the core idea of Bjork's theory. When you forget something, the memory isn't actually gone. It's not deleted. The problem is just that you can't access it. The theory says our memory has two totally different kinds of strength, and once you get this distinction, the whole paradox starts to make perfect sense. I love this analogy. Think of storage strength as a giant, secure vault in your brain. This is how deeply a memory is locked in for the long haul. It's what makes knowledge last. Retrieval strength, on the other hand, is like the key to that vault. It's how easy it is to open it up right now. And here's the kicker. The key can get rusty, or you can misplace it. Retrieval strength fades, but the vault itself and everything inside it is still there.
And this right here, this is the classic cramming trap we all fall into. When you just review something over and over again in one night, you're not building the vault. You're just polishing the key. Your retrieval strength goes through the roof, right? You feel like a genius because the info's so easy to access. But you've done basically nothing for storage strength. That memory is incredibly shallow and it's going to disappear the second that key gets lost.
But now, look at what happens when you space things out. You learn something, and then you wait. You intentionally let that key get a little lost. You let your retrieval strength drop. It feels harder, more frustrating to remember. But when you struggle and successfully find that key again, boom, your brain gets this incredibly powerful signal that says, whoa, this must be important. And what's the result? A massive, massive boost in storage strength. The vault gets reinforced, making that memory way more permanent.
And this all points to this really counterintuitive idea in psychology called the performance learning paradox. Basically, the things that feel easy and make you perform well in the short term, like cramming, are actually terrible for long-term learning. And the things that feel hard and slow, like struggling to pull up a fuzzy memory, are what actually build real lasting knowledge. Easy recall today is often the enemy of learning for tomorrow.
So let's dig into exactly why spacing works so well. Why is allowing yourself to forget the secret ingredient? Well, it's because it transforms remembering from something you do passively into an active, effortful workout for your brain.
You can see it so clearly here. Cramming is like a rocket that shoots straight up and then immediately falls back to Earth. You get this big peak followed by a cliff. That's the forgetting curve we all know and hate. But look at spacing. Each time you review after a delay, after you started to forget, you're not just relearning, you're reinforcing. You're pushing that retention line higher and making it flatter. You're actually building a foundation that's meant to last.
So, and this is the most crucial takeaway. The struggle is the entire point. That feeling of, it's on the tip of my tongue, that's not a sign you're failing. That's the sound of your brain's upgrade mechanism kicking into high gear. The effort itself is the biological trigger that tells your brain, hey, strengthen the connections for this memory. Make it permanent.
Okay, the theory is fascinating, right? Forgetting is good, struggle is productive. But what do we actually do with this information? Let's get practical and talk about a simple strategy you can literally start using today.
Here we go, the forget to remember strategy. Step 1, learn something new, but just to the point where you get the basics. Don't go for total mastery. Step 2, and this is the weird part, walk away. Intentionally wait for 3 to 7 days, long enough for it to become a bit challenging to remember. Step 3, test yourself. Force your brain to retrieve the info before you look at your notes. And finally, step 4, when it feels hard, lean into it. That struggle is what's building that deep, rock-solid storage strength.
Now, as you try this, just be aware of a few common traps. If you review too soon while it's still super easy, you're getting almost zero benefit. Don't mistake that easy recall for real learning. And please, I'm serious about this. Stop feeling guilty when it feels hard. That's the sign you're doing it right. The only real mistake is waiting too long, so long that you can't recall it at all. The sweet spot is effortful but successful retrieval.
All right, it's really important to add a bit of nuance here. This forgetting strategy is amazing for building knowledge you want to keep for years, but it is not the right tool for every single job.
Look, if you have a huge exam tomorrow or a presentation in an hour, by all means, cram away. Your goal there is maximum short-term retrieval, and that's totally fine. Same goes for high-stakes skills like being a surgeon or a pilot. You need that stuff to be automatic, which comes from massive repetition. This strategy is for the knowledge you want to truly own for the long haul.
So let's bring all this home. Let's talk about a new mindset, a whole new way to relate to the feeling of forgetting and the effort that comes with real learning.
These analogies are just perfect. Think about it. The struggle to retrieve a memory is just like muscle training. The stress of the lift is what signals the muscle to grow back stronger. It's a kind of anti-fragility. Your memory doesn't just survive the shock of forgetting, it gets stronger because of it. Or think of your immune system. The gaps between exposures are what allow it to build a powerful, lasting defense. Your brain works the exact same way.
So the next time you feel that frustrating blankness, that moment where you know something but you just can't grab it, I want you to reframe that feeling entirely. It is not a sign that you are failing. It's not a sign that your memory is broken. It is the sign that your brain is in the perfect state for deep, permanent learning. The struggle isn't failure. It's your upgrade mechanism.
So I'll leave you with a challenge. Think about something you're trying to learn right now, a language, a new skill, anything at all. What is one piece of it that you can intentionally decide to forget this week? Set it aside, let it get a little fuzzy so you can come back next week and make it permanent. Trust the process, trust the struggle. It really is the most powerful path to mastery.